Released in August of last year, this disappointing third sequel to the fresh and original hit from 2000 somehow managed to gross over $180 million, which, despite what those Hollywood execubots say, may yet result in another sequel. And that's the biggest problem I had with this film. No one asked for a sequel, let alone 3 of them. For those out of the loop, the plot of this movie, like all the films in the Final Destination series, revolves around a small group of teens and 20-somethings who die a gruesome death in the film's opening scene. Thanks to the lead protagonist's death-preventing premonition, however, none of the main characters die on that particular day. Lucky for us, they're slowly killed off one at a time for the remainder of the movie, in bizarre and coincidental ways. It just so happens they're also killed off in the same order they would have died in the original accident. And awesome, that was a cool and original concept 10 years ago. Today, everyone in the audience knows what's going to happen, and even the red herrings are easy to spot from 10 shots away. Since everyone in the previous films are dead, we're given a fresh new cast of meatbags to watch die. None of them can act, and none of the female leads take their clothes off, so really, watching them get sucked into a swimming pool's drainage pipe is our only source of entertainment, from a movie that otherwise fails on every level, except that of being a highbrow snuff film. Although I did catch this movie in Blu-ray, I sadly was unable to snag a 3D version of the movie. But I have to assume that such a gimmick would only serve to assist the movie's shock and scare value, and not much else. Luckily though, at an incredibly short 82 minutes in length, this mindless death fest of bad acting and horrible dialogue is over before you really have time to process just how really bad it is. The one positive thing I can say about this movie is that the special effects and kill scenes are, as always, a morbidly delightful treat to watch. But that's what I thought about the Final Destination. Let's see what you guys had to say in some YouTube comments. Sammy Slam Dunk wrote, "The worst out of the series. I feel like I was watching something trying to be a Final Destination movie, but failed. 4 out of 10. Anime Admirer 22 wrote, "Fairly good, but nothing special. The sequels continue to degrade the original, which probably couldn't have done much to make itself better. The kids practically kill themselves now." A few of you, apparently so disillusioned by the magic of 3 dimensions, foolishly scored this movie a perfect 10 out of 10. Now, while everyone is certainly entitled to their own opinion, I can't help but wonder, what the hell were you thinking? So just a bit of warning, those undeservedly high scores you're about to see on the Rate-O-Matic in a second, they came from people who wouldn't know a good movie if it bit them on the ass. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and fire up the Rate-O-Matic to see how the Final Destination did. Alright, a 2-5 split. And you know what I thought of the movie? Although the death scenes were entertaining, really the only redeemable part of the movie, none of them felt new or original, just like the old movies. But luckily, the movie only wasted about 82 minutes of my life, so it got spared from the very lowest rung on the Rate-O-Matic. I give it a crappy. You guys, as I mentioned, were a little bit more forgiving with this film, praising the dark humor and the special effects, scoring it a collective 5 out of 10.